Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everybody. Today's matchup features two teams eager to come away with a late season win. It's the Raiders going up against the Eagles. So, with the call of this week's 16 matchup, let's hand it over to our commentators, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Thank you, Larry. It's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look live there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene in South Philly a few moments ago. Boy, the city of brotherly love is fired up. They're saying, fly, Eagles, fly, as they get ready to match up with Derek Carr and the Oakland Raiders. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. They've been as hot as anyone. The win last week makes it 9 out of 10.
The results are hard to argue. If there's a team better suited for the postseason right now, I don't know who they are.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Raiders, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
Here come the Raiders, and here comes quarterback Derek Carr. And this is a crew, Charles, and it's hard to pinpoint exactly where things went south because they were preseason darlings. Started 2-0, but since then, wins have kind of been few and far between.
But remember, the offensive line was expected to be one of the better ones in the league. They didn't play up to expectations, and because you're expected to be one of the darlings of the league, people play that much harder against you. Makes your schedule a lot tougher. And Derek Carr had to play with a little bit of injury. Remember, he got hurt, missed a full game, and then had to adapt when he came back. So when you add it all together, not a smooth ride for the Raiders, trying to make a playoff push down the stretch.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
In recent years, the slot receivers really gained stature in the NFL because they could do so many things. Yes, they can line up wide like your normal wide receiver, but to have that kind of courage and toughness to run routes in the middle of the field and become dependable targets for their quarterbacks and move the sticks, those guys are worth their weight in gold.
And the offense still has a couple plays to go to pick up the first on 2nd down and 3. And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings.
Offense.
And that'll set them back 5.
Still 2nd down.
Now Carr throwing on 2nd down. Connects it to Roberts, right side. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. On the carry, here's Marshawn Lynch. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
And, partner, in a lot of short yardage situations, you'll see the linebackers step up into the gaps, what we call mugging the line of scrimmage, to make sure they take away all spaces, all creases. That one worked really well for them.
Now only needed a yard, instead went backwards. And that is very well done there, as this will be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. And not great starting field position here for the offense. Now it's the Boise State alum, Jay Ajayi. And he'll take this forward only up to about the 7. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
A really good pickup of 28 yards.
It's hard to play in the NFL now as a running back and not catch the football as well. Jay Ajayi shows what you can do when you have both of those skills.
Good in space, isn't he?
He really is able to catch the ball, and he helps create blocks downfield. A lot of times that's what people miss. It's not just making other guys miss you. It's setting up guys to block those guys downfield with the moves you make, and Jay Ajayi does that very well.
Well, the offense lining up 1st and 10. Here's Ajayi. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, he's looking for some running room, and there wasn't a whole lot of it there on that play. I think he was lucky to get a couple of yards out of it. Because those defenders, they were rallying to the football pretty quickly.
Foles. Has it left side. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The numbers for him from a week ago: 6 catches, 56 yards.
And I get the feeling that he loves this matchup. I mean, the unit he's going against is in the bottom half of the league against the pass. He had to have circled this one on the schedule and said to himself, this should be a big game.
And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much, as he's down to the 48. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. And they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Here's Foles. Going up top. And this is caught. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Alshon Jeffrey hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Eagles have taken the early lead. And that was really just a great battle for that football on both sides. The result is a touchdown.
Ordinarily, I'd like to say it was a win-win, but it really wasn't because the defender, while he was there with excellent coverage, he didn't get the benefit, did he?
But he's not going to get chewed up in film session, will
No,
he?
he was right there. They'll tell him, okay, of course you need to knock the ball away, but they won't be too upset with him. He did his job for the most part.
He's got it, and the Eagles lead at 7-zip. So that drives 7 plays in length. The result, Philadelphia in the end zone. Elliott now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
And Mr. Cooper, Amari, a headliner in this offensive unit.
Brandon, it's rare that you get guys so polished coming out of college, but Amari Cooper has carried himself like a pro probably since he was 6 years old. He is a terrific talent.
Carr to throw after the play fake to Lynch. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. And the big meat on the D-line, we'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Throwing his car on third down. He finds Roberts, complete. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. A Raider first down, 17 yards. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. First down, the run with Lynch. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. The numbers for Marshawn a week ago. 16 carries, 76 yards.
In a perfect world, they'd run the ball the same way they did last week, but against the #1 rush defense in the league, they're going to have to find a different way to move the ball. Maybe they start throwing it early and come back to the run.
If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
We've played a quarter here on Christmas Day. It's a close game here early on. And we're back to Philadelphia after this.
The NFL is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football. They're looking at a second and short yardage to start things out. They'll run again with Lynch. And not going to be able to push this forward. He runs into a wall right at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. And the Eagles will go with an extra DB here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd.
Thinking pass all the way.
They'll run it. Here's Lynch. He's got a first down and then some inside the 40. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. A Raider first down, 17 yards.
Well, if we had any questions, that run kind of answered him. He's still Marshawn Lynch.
Hasn't lost a thing. Maybe running with a renewed sense of purpose and energy after that year off. Now whistles here, and I believe one of the Raider linemen might have been moving.
False start, offense.
That's on the big guard, Gabe Jackson.
Still first down.
So the penalty by the offense, and now they face a 1st and 15. Following the penalty, Lynch. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. On 2nd down, Lynch. And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
On 3rd and long, it's Carr. And this is going to be incomplete.
There's so much precision in an offense, especially when you're throwing the ball. And in an out route, plenty of it. How about the quarterback hitting his back foot, ball's out of his hands, receiver making his break, making his cut. He's got to time up perfectly. Not always easy to do.
Just let him a little too much.
Yeah, I remember back in the good old days, I was talking to a quarterback, and he said everything they did was on the count system. So when he took a snap, he counted in his head for certain routes, different time frames for each one, and he knew if the ball wasn't out of his hand at that point, he'd better eat it because the play was dead.
Now Foles. It's hauled in by Torrey Smith. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Well, that certainly looked like the Torrey Smith we knew in Baltimore. A guy who can just run past defenses, and what do they say? Take the top right off of him.
Game-changing speed, and the days in Baltimore good, days in San Fran not so great, but now hoping to get back to his former self.
I would say they have an extremely motivated wide receiver in Torrey Smith.
This is Ajayi, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Khalil Mack's starting to get a really big-time reputation as a pass rusher, and rightly so. So explosive off the edge getting to the quarterback, but he doesn't neglect his run duties as well. How about that tackle right there? Such a package he has, able to play the run and the pass so well.
And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. Caught right side, it's Jeffrey. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield across the 45. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Pressure, and that's certainly going to be a key to this game going forward. And that time, they were able to get in there and influence the throw. And remember, the quarterback's got to get rid of it. They don't have the tuck rule that they can fall back on anymore.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He finds Ajayi. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. Looking to throw. And Jeffrey's got it. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
Well, that's exactly why you go and get Alshon Jeffrey from the Bears. When you're able to throw it up like that, forget 50-50 balls. What is that more like, what, a 90-10 for him?
That's what he calls them. He calls them 90-10 balls. I love that line and respect his ability. He can go up and get it. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, nearly a disaster there on the check down. But they'll get it back.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. They had a chance there to finish things off, didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Elliott now to add the extra point. And it's good to make it 14-0. Elliott now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Raider offense now making their way toward the huddle. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Carr now to throw. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout, as they'll stop it with 40 seconds remaining in this first half. On 3rd down, Carr out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. And now the Eagles going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. The Eagles offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these 2 teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run it and try and keep the defense honest.
Or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down.
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. So we've come to halftime here in Philly with the Eagles on top, as we'll send you down the coast to Orlando, where we check in with our friend Larry Ridley and the EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon. I'm Larry Ridley, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. The Eagles are up right now and are looking to keep up the pressure moving forward. The Raiders won't panic either. They know they just need to take it 1 play at a time. All right, let's roll those highlights. Moving now to late in the first. The catch will be made deep down the field, and he's going to go 48 yards for the score. Eagles up by a touchdown. Eagles have it late in the second. Foles going to find his mark, and he capped off the long drive with the TD. Lead now at 14. Still a little time left on the clock. Graham's going to get the quarterback here. This goes for a loss of 4. That'll do it from our EA Sports Studios. Let's send it back up to Brandon and Charles in Philly.
So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out come the Eagles now as he'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive. As they score here, especially a touchdown, it's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they? Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. And the Raiders call on a nickel set for third down. Back to throw. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. They run with Ajayi. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Now back to throw. Over the middle to Smith. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
They'll run it here with Blunt. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. LeGarrette Blunt, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Eagles had 6 to their lead. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
Elliott now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet. You're trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen or anticipated in practice, and maybe that's throwing them off? Or do they just have to go to a different play calling section and try and run some offense that way?
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
No gain on that run, and while this team is down, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. Maybe you just have to think about a different style of running in order to get this guy going. On 2nd down, here's Carr.
And his throw is incomplete. He was trying to get it to Seth Roberts. And that'll make it third down. Well, too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
Yeah, really turned it loose, didn't he? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
To throw on third down. Carr. And that is incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. You just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken at the 18. Oh, look at the juke. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Here's a handoff to Ajayi to begin the drive. And not a whole lot doing there, as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. That one goes for 24 yards.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Smith catches left side. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
He'll look to throw. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play.
And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, 3rd quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Carr now on 1st down. Get away. Carr is going to go down, and that is a safety. So a failure there to get rid of the football. I don't know in the end that it's going to matter much here with this game, but it yields another 2 points.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. It may not matter a ton with the deficit that's already there, but like my old coach used to say, it sure ain't going to help.
That doesn't help indeed. So free kick situation forthcoming from the 20 as they'll punt this one away. And it's taken in at the 9. And an alley to run. And he is hit pretty hard from the side as he's knocked down. The Eagles offense making their way back out as we take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And for them, it's no longer a question of will they make the playoffs. They've clinched the division title. The question, can they hold on to that number 1 seed?
And this is where the mental fortitude comes to play, doesn't it? Because now you're not just the coach talking about it. It's team talking about it to each other. supporting each other, carrying each other along, because having that #1 seed means everything in the NFL.
It does. So even though the division title's clinched, shouldn't take the foot off the gas.
No, not at all. Play it all the way through, and I think we've seen that in recent years in the NFL. The teams that play and play to win each and every game, they're the ones to deal with in the playoffs.
2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead them to 3rd down.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
And he's going to have the 1st down at about the 38. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Not much happening there on 1st down.
I thought there might have been a hole for a split second.
Yeah, but it dried up pretty quickly, didn't it? Closed fast.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Well, now they're in a spot that every team tells us when we have our production meetings they don't want to be in, 3rd and long. And that's because those back-to-back running plays just didn't accomplish a whole lot.
Back to throw here. Hard throw, incomplete.
Trying to throw it to the sideline, but he led him just a little bit too much trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground, incomplete.
Here's Donnie Jones now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And a great job on special teams to down it, as this will be marked out inside the 5-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And last time they surrendered the safety, we know they don't want to do that again.
That is just one of those oddities in scoring that we get. And it's just so strange to see that go up on the board. And then you got to make sure that that doesn't happen to your team again. They've got to take care of the ball.
But, boy, it juices up the defense.
Oh, without a doubt. That's a great way to score some points.
Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Carr to throw on 2nd down. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Now Carr. And this is going to be incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And he gets it away, and it's a laser headed for the sidelines. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. Nick Foles gearing up again here to go on offense. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind. It's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad. Now there's probably a silent camaraderie that comes about him saying, hey, guess what? We got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go, big fella. Because they know more times than not, he tends to pick things up, and they tend to play well.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Reggie Nelson.
Well, it's a cold night, and whether you're a quarterback that wears a glove on his throwing hand or not, that ball is a rock, Brandon. You've got to really drive it through the cold and the wind, or it can take off on you. And that may have been what happened there.
And a great spot to start this drive from here. On 1st and 10, here's Carr. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Carr going to try and throw on third down. And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. Michael Crabtree, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Raiders take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. So they will get on the scoreboard here. Give them credit for that. Too little, too late, but no 0. Oh, you're going slow clap on me.
Not very nice, is it?
No, but they haven't been very nice on offense. It's been a struggle. So they're going to go for 2. Now whistles here, and I believe one of the Raider linemen might have been moving.
False start, offense.
Well, that changes things, obviously. They can elect to bring the kicking team out now and try it from the 20 if they want.
And I wouldn't be surprised at all if they did exactly that. Going for 2 from the 7 versus kicking it from the 20, I like my odds better with my kicker.
Now Carr. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. So tried to throw it in for 2 points, but the D got home, brought him down.
Yeah, got home, which means there had to be good coverage. Just had nowhere to go with the ball. Typically, you try and throw quick hitters, quick slants, maybe even a quick fade. Nothing was open. He ends up getting sacked.
So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick. And the Eagles dodge a bullet. They cover it up. Fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And maybe the wrong read there as he's going to go down immediately. He lost 2 there, and it's third down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Eagles, they continue to rack up the victories as this one moves them to 13-2 on the year. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Dallas Cowboys next week. Meanwhile, for Oakland, they're guaranteed now a sub-500 season as they fall to 6-9. And they will try to turn it around next week as they head down to Carson for a matchup with the LA Chargers. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. The Eagles are winners here as we say so long from Philadelphia.